Okay. Brilliant. So I'm just having a look to see if everybody looks pretty much ready. I think what we'll do tonight is we'll use the ball a little bit, and we'll use our long band as well. Probably use the long band in the warm up a little bit, and we're going to focus a little bit more emphasis on the abdominals. Apart from that, it's just all our normal stuff, and that's it really. So I think I'll get started now. I haven't heard anybody else come in, and I've got a little bit of music in the background, which just gets me going, so I can get into a beat. Okay, so what we can do is just going to lift the heels. That's it. Right, I think what we'll do is we'll bring the heels back down. We're going to just have a little lift of the heels, do something different today, and then bringing them back down again, and then lifting and bringing them down. And then we're going to bring one knee forward, so bend that knee, lift that heel, and then just changing it over, but a bit more slowly. So you'll feel a little bit of a stretch into the calf muscles. And then we're going to bring the heels back down, and we're just going to take one arm, one hand, we're going to just take it across and then bring it back in again. So you're going to bend the knee slightly, take it across. Can you feel that around the abdominals? Take it across, bring it back into middle. So it's a bit of a stretch. I can sort of feel it in the side of my abs. And then what we're doing, we're just keeping the shoulders relaxed as we take it out. The last one. Bringing the arms back down. And then we're just going to take one arm forward and back. And you can bend the knees if you want to. As you take the arm down, just bend those knees. Keep the weight into your heels slightly more. And then we're going to bring the arms down, and then we're just going to go into a more of a twist. So keeping the arms up to about shoulder height. And then think about like the breath out as you twist, and in as you start to swing back round. You should be sort of feeling that in the waist. Okay, bring those arms down, and you're going to roll, big roll all the way up and back, and again, and squeeze those shoulders together and release. Okay, then we're going to bring the arms out in front and just working on those shoulders, squeezing forward. But as we do it, we don't want to bring them up towards the ears. We want to keep them down low, as relaxed as we can. Bring the arms back down, give them a roll again. Then we're going to do that one where we take the arms in front and we do a little twist. So we're doing a little bit more work into the waist, but keeping the hips facing forwards. And then just bring those arms back down again. That should just take them behind just for a slight stretch. Bring them back to the front again. It's the last one we're going to do like this. We're going to bring the elbows, back. We're going to lift and then bring them back and forward. Yvonne, if you can hear me, can you message me? Because it looks like you've frozen on the screen. I don't know if you've got Wi-Fi issues. And up. This is your last one now. And stretch forward and bring it down. And then just roll each shoulder. Okay. Right. Right. So we've done. You can feel like you've done something with the upper body, and you've done a little bit of work on the waist area. We'll let's take the feet out quite wide, and we're just going to make sure the toes are out as well. We're just going to take this stretch over onto one knee, and then the other one. So what I want you to kind of work on is just a stretch in the inner thigh area, and looking forwards and keeping sort of pushing your bottom behind you, so you get a nice position in your back. And then we're going to do two, so stretch, and then come back, stretch. You can just feel that a bit more. Okay, let's finish there. Come up. Now, just keep the feet out quite wide, and we're going to go straight into bend the knees and just keep the feet down. So we're sort of warming up into the shoulder area and below into the hips and knees. Let's change direction. You feel a little stretch in your tummy as you come up. Last one. Okay. And from that position, take the arms out, and you're just going to circle. Keep the feet as they are. I'm going to do a bit more there. And then drop the hands and reverse the direction. And just bring those arms down. Now we're going to bend the knees on their own. And if you can, lift one heel and just do a small bend of the knee. And again, you can just feel that down into the inner thigh area. And let's finish that one. Bring that heel down, change over to the other side. Feel like my mat's squeezing outwards. And bring that heel down. And then just bring the feet in now. Next thing we're going to do, I think we'll bring the band in at this point. Actually, I might bring the ball in at some point as well. Okay, so first of all, we'll do some dumb waiter. So we're going to roll the shoulders down your back, bring the hands out in front of you, and we're just going to encourage the elbows in towards your waist as you squeeze out. So think about, if you keep those shoulders down, you'll probably feel that they're working, they're squeezing together a little bit more as you stretch away. Okay, last one. And then what we're going to do is just change it so the palms are facing downwards. Double mindset doesn't get in the way. And then we're going to do a lift all the way up. So we've got relaxed shoulders at the moment, but now we're going to squeeze them upwards, and then we're going to release them down. So pull them down and up, up, and down. You can feel the sort of starting to mobilize, starting to loosen off, especially if you've been stuck sitting down all day, looking at the lovely weather and being stuck at your desk. So you're stretching out slightly on the band. And let's just hold that position up there. And we're going to pull in through the abdominals. So we're not sticking our tummy out, pulling in. We're going to hold that position, just do a little move round over to the side, as you can feel that a little bit on the side. And then bring it back. As you bring it back, can you feel the abs working? So pull in through the abdominals, hold, and pull up. And now just gently bring the arms back down. Excellent. And then roll your shoulder. That feels okay. And then do a squeeze all the way up and release. Then we're going to take the band, take 1 foot forward, lean forward slightly, and just keeping the arms straight. We're going to just stretch up and release. And what we're going to do, release those arms for a second. We're going to do some pulses this time. So as we come up, we're going to just pulse. Keep the strength at the tops of the arms into the shoulders. The rest of the body staying nice and strong. And now start to release back down. And then squeeze those shoulders. Then we're going to come back into dumb waiter, to what we did at the beginning. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to hold one side, the other side we're going to squeeze out and release. I want you to focus on the muscles that you're using. Probably don't feel it quite so much when it's just one side. You want to just squeeze the shoulder blade in towards the other. Okay, last one, and then we'll bring that back in. Give them a squeeze up if you need to, release, and then just change over to the other side. So keep this one in, side in, and then just moving one side. Just concentrating on that one side only. Last one. Perfect. Okay, roll the shoulders. I don't think there's anything else. No, I think I'll leave it at that. And I don't think we'll work. I don't think we'll use it later. Yeah, we'll leave that to your side somewhere. And the only other thing, oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to use the ball while we were standing. I'm doing a lot of, I'm doing classes with a trainer at the moment. She does one class a week, and it's great because I'm getting some ideas. But she's doing a lot of stuff that's on seats, so I might introduce seats in sometime to do some of the work. But the only thing is, you've got to make sure that the seat will stay in place and it won't sort of drift away. So, and you'd have to have it against a wall. That's what I'm trying to say, to make it, to stabilize it. So anyway, we'll stick with this for now, and I'll see how that goes over the next few weeks. So we're going to bring that ball, we're going to take it between your thighs. And then what we're going to do, you're just going to squeeze into that ball just standing, which is always a bit interesting. Again, now we're going to do a little bit of work in the inner thigh area, adductor area. So you can sort of see knees coming in slightly. And then what we're going to do, just slightly change where it is positioned. Just make sure you've still got, obviously you've got some, you've got your, you can feel it, I can't hear the word. You can feel it between your legs. You're keeping it in between the legs. And you're going to hold that position. I'm going to do some squat work with it in that position. So we're going to drop down into the heels and come up. So it's weird because you, in a way, you want to keep your knees squeezed out a bit to utilize these glute muscles. But you've also got to slightly squeeze onto the ball to keep it there. Okay, so what we're going to do on the last one, we're going to go down now, and we're going to just squeeze into the ball slightly, and then release it slightly, and then just squeeze up slowly. So you should feel that, should have felt that here in the glute, hopefully, and then just take the ball away. Trying to think of anything else. I know I've done other things with the ball before, standing, but I just can't for the life of me think of anything else. That doesn't matter. Okay, so I think we'll just do a neck stretch. We'll do both neck stretches actually. So we'll just roll the shoulders down your back, chin slightly tucked, and we're going to take it over to one side. So you just feel that good stretch on the other side. Relax the shoulder and bring it back in. And chin slightly tucked, abdominals contracting slightly to the other side. So this shoulder wants to come forward, so I'm trying to leave it back there and back into the middle. And then we do the one where we take the hand, we take it over to the side, and just the hand just gives it a little bit of a extra stretch. And release it, and take it over to the other side. And release, and roll the shoulders. Yeah. And just circle the ankle and change to the other direction. And change over to the other side. And change direction. And then just shake the legs out, shake the arms. And then if you get your mat prepared down onto the floor, I think we're going to start on all fours today. So just stay in seated position. Right, I'm going to take my glasses off now. Right. Okay, right, everyone's down. So we're starting off with our stretch. So you're coming into your all fours position, and you're just going to push that bottom behind you to begin with. And then you're going to lift, think about the back is trying to stretch up towards the ceiling. And then you're just going to reverse it, pushing that bottom behind. Don't lift up the head too high. And then you're going to pull up through the back. You can feel the abs really contracting. Coming into your basic neutral position, and then you're going down into your chest, into your shoulder blade dips. So the chest drops, the arms stay straight, and it just should be able to just feel that in your shoulder blade. So a bit more loosening up, a bit more mobilization into that area. and then come back. My tummy's just rumbling there. Okay. So once you've given your wrists a quick rest, we're going to do some straight leg lifts. So we're going to just take the one leg away from you, squeeze up through the glutes, and you're going to lift and lower. So you're going to keep that leg straight and lift and lower. Last one. Bring the knee in and straighten the other side. Last one. And then just bring the weight off your wrist. And then just to give your wrist a bit of a rest, I think we'll come on to our elbows. And this time we're just going to lift up the one leg, but with the knee bent. And you're going to squeeze and then just bring it in slightly into your abdominals and squeeze up. So keep that knee bent and really think about it's the glutes that is squeezing. Last one on that side. Bring the knees back. And then change over to the other side. Keep that knee bent and squeeze and bring in. So you're bringing it in towards your waist, towards your chest. You should feel that a little bit into the abs. Last one. And then just push yourself back with strength into the shoulders. And then coming up, last exercise, but so in the all fours position. So we're going to tuck the toes under. This is where we're going to do that little lift of the knees. But what I find is if you pull up through the abdominals first, so you're almost kind of rounding the back slightly, and then you're going to lift from that position. The abdominals, then you can feel the abdominals working. So lifting up through the abdominals, and then just lift the knees just slightly off, not too high. Every time I watch it, people doing it, everyone goes quite high because that makes it easy, but it's not really utilizing your abdominals. You've got to keep it about under an inch off the ground if you can. Okay, now you've probably had enough of that on your wrists now, so feel free to take the weight off. We've finished on our wrists at this point. I think we might do a little bit later. And actually, while we're here, I say we've finished on our wrists. Let's come into seated position and I do like this stretch for the support for the knees. So we're going to bring those legs out in front of you and just take the hands back slightly. And just leaning back slightly as well, you're going to really contract the front of your leg. Let's go to the left leg first. And you're going to squeeze and lift it as you contract. Keep that contraction and then release it back down. And then completely release that contraction before you go over to the other side. Contract, lift, and release. So this is really helpful, just strengthening around the knee area. lifting and lowering, but don't just lift for the hell of it, just really contract, really think about what you're doing. One of the principles is concentration for Pilates, and another principle is precision. So this is why I love it so much. I like to be precise. Okay, last one on each side. So you should feel that. And you can almost feel sometimes if it's going to go into cramp, actually, when you're doing it properly. Okay, so we'll come down into crook position. So I'm going to come this way. So if you just lay down onto your back, I think my music is too fast. So what we'll do is take the ball, actually. So once we're on our backs, our feet are flat on the floor. They're about hip width apart, and the knees too. So we're going to take the ball up and we're going to relax those shoulders. We're going to pull, and we're going to stay in that neutral position, and then and breathe, bring it back. Thinking about your chin as well, think about keeping that chin, because you start kind of almost looking behind. Keep that slight tuck next to the neck. One. Just take the ball over to the side. Then we're going to straight. Keep the waist, keep your neutral position, bringing that leg down towards the mat, and then bringing it back up again, bending the knee and placing the foot down, and then change over to the other side, straight down, up and place. One more on each side. Relax those shoulders. You should feel that as you take that leg down, sort of down into the abdominal area. And then with the ball, we're going to take that under our feet. So I'll tell you what we'll do today, actually. We're going to do a roll out, keeping that back imprinted, and that's quite hard to do. Bring it back in, fiddle around with it, take the heels low, and have a go at lifting your bottom off. And actually, I would do two of each, because otherwise you're just going to be fiddling around. So you're going to do 2 lifts, don't have to be quick. Then you're going to do 2 roll outs, and keep that back imprinted. So you're doing this in your own time. The bit is just bringing the ball back in and replacing the feet. So you're in a better position to be able to do that little lift. Looking good. Okay. Make that your last one. And then just take the ball out to out the way to the side. And then we're going to do some ab. So hands coming behind your head. Always think about trying as heavy as possible into the palms of your hands. The chin is slightly tucked and the back is imprinted. That's really important as well. So we're thinking really about the contraction now. It's coming from the abdominals as you lift. When I'm trying to lift, and then you're breathing out. Excuse me, as you lift, you're going to breathe out. So it's quite a small move. You're going to come all the way back down. If you breathe that breath outwards as you push up, I always feel that the abs will contract more naturally than if you were breathing in. And it's always good to try and keep that neck, into the head as heavy as you can into the hand, which is quite difficult, but last one. We'll go back to that in a minute, but we're going to do something else just to a quick break from that. So bring the knees into the chest for a second and to bring the legs then into tabletop. So just toe tap. Oh, if you want to use your ball under your back, of course, you can do that if you want to. So just toe taps now. So we're going to keep the knee bend at the moment in that sort of 90-degree bend. Bring the knees into the chest. Bring the feet down to the floor. If you want to, we're going to do ab prep again. So some people might want to try a bit more of a challenge and bring the legs up into that tabletop position. It's entirely up to you. It does encourage your back to stay into the floor. We can try it like that. If not, just leave your feet back down. It's up to you. Chin slightly tucked. It's definitely more of a challenge, but it does encourage the back to stay down. I'm just going to have a quick look. Yeah, it's not easy. We'll do two more. Bring those knees in. Excellent. So you can feel that. And then just bring the feet down. And then this time we're going to do heel tap. So we're going to bring those legs back up again. Feet are flexed this time. And we're going to take the heel down first. Again, just be mindful of what your back is trying to do. One more on each side. Now bring the knees in. I keep getting ideas of the different things we can do for this exercise. We're going to try toe taps in slightly different ways. So now we're going to go back into our tabletop position. The feet are pointed. And what we're going to do is we're just going to come down and we're going to actually stretch that leg a little bit more. than we normally do. Keep it quite slow. Just concentrate on the back, staying imprinted. So you're going to stretch that leg just that little bit more. I'll just do 2 more, 1 more on each side now. I think we've probably done enough on that now. Bring the knees into the chest. And actually bring the feet down for a second and just stretch. Just a full body stretch, quite nice. Out and tummy. Stay there for a second. I'm just checking what else we're going to do. I think, yeah, no, we'll do it now. Okay, the knees, bring straighten the other leg and change over. So do single leg stretch and coming up to lifted if that works for you. Bring the knees back in, and we're going to just stretch out into our double leg stretch. So that's when I said about, you know, abs, we're concentrating on abs today. That's definitely been a bit of concentration there. We might do a bit more later if we have time, but more in a plank position, but we'll see. Last one, and I feel like my tummy is going to really rumble now. And then what I'm going to get you to do is just roll. Actually, I'm going to get you to do 4 roll-ups, and then you're going to stay up in seated position once you've done the 4 roll-ups and roll down. Don't forget to really think about your back. So you really want to get that back down into your mat as you come up. And if that's not working, then always use something underneath your back to help. Righty-ho, everybody's finished, I think. So what we'll do now is we'll do some side work, and we're going to start with one of my favorites, the open book. So this is great. I just think I'm trying to do it a bit more with you now because it's so helpful to stretch and the chest area. And that's so important with this, you know, with our forward head days that we have, our forward head posture. So let's do that first. We're coming on to, if you've got the 2 blocks or the bigger block, it's always more helpful. You're in a clam sort of position with the legs, chin slightly tucked, and you're just going to follow that arm, but the back stays where it is. So I really want you to get that stretch before you come back. Always get that stretch into the shoulder, and then it should then elevate down slightly into the chest area. We'll just do one more. Okay, so we've got 2 more exercises, and the next one we're going to do leg kicks. So you can either change your position with your arm in this position, or you can come up onto your elbow. So it's up to you, and it depends on your shoulder. I quite like to come up onto my shoulder for this one, only for this one. So leg's going to come up to hip height, and then we're just going to bring that forward and back. Just make sure that you don't end up rolling in with it, with those hips. You want to keep those hips, have a little look, and then look forwards once you've had a quick look, because then it will help you stay in position. The foot is flexed. And then what we're going to do, we're going to do that nasty one where we bring it forward, the foot, we drop the toes down slightly, and we're going to go down and up, lift and lower. And at first it feels pretty much okay. If it gets too much, take the leg back a bit, but you will really start to feel it behind here. Okay, last one, and keep that leg, if you can, at hip height. Bring it back, and now bring the knee up towards the chest straight away, and then push away with the heel, and push. So I can feel that in my shoulder now. And push away. I can feel it in the glutes. Can you feel it in your glutes now? Okay, so that's your last push away, and then you're going to straighten the legs, come all the way down, and you're going to go into your double leg lift. So before you start to lift the legs, lift up through the waist first, pull in through the abdominals, and you can make a massive difference to help you, to really help balance. So you should effectively be able to lift without putting your hands down, but that can be debatable. Bit of concentration. And this is where you're going to feel that bit more in the abdominals. Last one. Good, release it down. Perfect. So we can do all of that on the other side now. So you've got your open book first. Hands out in front. And you're just taking that arm back. You can try and keep it in your peripheral vision. We're just going to do two more. Excuse me. And then coming up, if you are coming up, or staying down where you are, and we're going to do our leg kicks. So stretching that top leg away, flexing the foot, and then bringing that leg forward. So really squeeze up into that shoulder. You should feel that here, just because you're trying to keep that stabilized in the hip area. And let's just bring that leg forwards now slightly. Drop the foot slightly and the toes slightly, and then you're going to do that lift and lower. This is where you're really going to start to feel it. How's that feeling? Should we do two more? Yeah. Good. Okay, bring that leg back. yourselves a pat if you need to. And then we're going to go down into our double leg. Yeah, I was just checking. I thought I'd missed something out then. That's weird. Okay, so yeah. Oh, no, we have, haven't we? I knew there was something. Bring the knee into the chest and push away. That's weird. Good job I had it written down. Stretch away. My Garmin's telling me to move. I am moving. What a cheek. Okay, last one. And now you can straighten your legs. Come down. And then lift up through the through the waist. Abdominals in, contracting in slightly, and then lift and lower. So as you lift, you should be able to feel it between the kind of the abdominal area between the hip bones. Breathe out as you lift. Breathe in to lower. Last one. Excellent. Okay. So what we'll do is we're kind of on our side, let's come onto our front. So we'll start with our reverse, the push-ups. So we're going to put the elbows behind us, the hands are flat on the floor, and we're going to just lift the whole body and then push back, push the bottom behind you. And this is where you just come forward. You're stretching the body, you're lifting through the abdominals, and you're hovering before you come down. So shoulders are working, and you should feel the triceps and the abdominals, deep abdominals. And just keep it a nice sort of flowing movement. Keep pulling up through the abdominals. So I want to see a nice straight and flat back rather than a dipped back. We'll just do one more. And then you can come back down so you're back in what we call prone position on our front. That's it. Okay, and then just coming up onto your elbows. You know what we're going to do now. So elbows under the shoulders roughly, or slightly forward if you want to work harder. Let's just lift the tummy off there and then just lower that tummy back down. And then we're going to lift it up again. Keep lifting and relax. And then we're going to go into our half plank now. So tuck the toes under if you haven't already. I'm going to squeeze up through the shoulders, thoracic spine, and into the abdominals, and just keep, if we can keep that lifted position, keep breathing. If you're shaking, absolutely fine. I am. And start to release. And just let the shoulders relax for a second. I can sort of take the weight off them a little bit. And let's do that again. So when you're ready, lifting up through the head and shoulders, and then thoracic spine, hips, pulling up. So think of that navel pulling up towards your vertebrae, towards the spine. Squeeze those shoulders back. And then just come down nice and slowly. Who wants to do another one? Put your thumbs up. Oh, I've got at least one person. Oh, good too. Right, we're doing one more then. Okay, so this time, if you want to make it a little bit harder, it's your last one. Just bring the elbows forward a little bit more, and we're going to get started. So lift up through the head and shoulders, and then thoracic, and now just pull up through the abdominals. Oh, I wish I had a second timer on. I could just count it, but it's not. So if you need to come down now, you can, but if not, let's stay up for a few more seconds. Can't see because I can't lift my head up. And let's come back down. Can you feel that? Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do first. We'll just do a stretch, and then we'll come down and do some, so let's do sort of swan dive prep. You're going to come up and just do a stretch into your back, and it also will stretch those shoulders that might feel a bit sore. Quite, maybe not everybody gets it, but a lot of people have got shoulder issues there. You do start to really feel it after those 3 or 4. Then you're just going to come up and just bring yourself back down, and we're going to take the arms out, and then bring if you've got your block, bring that in for your forehead, and you're just going to bring the arms out to the side. So we're going to do swan dive prep. So that's the one where arms and shoulders stay quite relaxed for now, and you're going to just lift up through the abdominals, breathing out, and then just lifting just the upper body, just very slightly, looking down still at the block, and then you're going to release it. So we'll start with that basic move. You're working into the lower back muscles. Does that make sense? So just lift, so you should feel it here in the lower back, and you should be lifting up through the abdominals slightly. So the shoulders are pretty relaxed if you can. And this is where you can start to, if you want to add the extra move. So you'll start with what you started with. You bring the hands back to wherever you feel comfortable, and then you're going to lift up and stretch. Now pulling up through the abdominals quite strongly. Keep the elbows behind. Pull up, lift first, utilizing those lower back muscles, and then just stretch. Now not everybody can do that, or they might have to keep their elbows bent. Doesn't matter. I just want you to protect your back as you're lifting. Okay, last one. And then as you come down, bring the hands back a bit, or a bit closer, so you can lift your body up. And you're going to come into a slightly wider knee stretch into your shell stretch or child pose. And let the head come down to the mat. But stretch the hands away so you can feel stretch into the shoulders as well. And then just take the arms over to the right side, and then stretch that left arm away. And then bring it into the middle and take it over to the other side. And bring it into the middle. Good. Okay. So what we'll do is tell you what we'll do. We'll do a seated a seated stretch, which will then stretch our glutes a little bit, as well as the spine twist. So it's that lovely one where we have our legs out in front. And I'm going to take my right leg over my left knee, and then I'm going to stretch forward with the left arm and clasp it clasp the elbow around the knee. So at that point, you should really have, you should feel that stretch in your glutes. And then you're going to do a slight look to the right or behind you. So the hand goes, the right arm goes behind you if you can. And you're going to stay quite elevated in the torso. And also, sometimes you stop breathing. You know, the breath isn't very, very, word, I don't know what the word is, but just keep the breath so it's nice sort of deep breath. I think what happens is the rib cage gets a bit sort of tight. So just keep lifting that. Now just keep that knee, bring that knee over a bit more if you can. So you can feel the glutes stretch that little bit more. And now if you can release. And change over to the other side. So right leg, left leg's over the right knee, stretch that right arm away. Get that glute stretch working first. So bring that knee over and then turn, waist twist slightly. And hold that position. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. That's a lovely stretch. Okay, and release. I love the glute stretch. And then just come into your seated position, whatever feels good for you. And I think shoulders might feel a bit tense, so let's just squeeze them up and then just release them down and just give them a bit of a shifty around. Okay, so we're going to take our 2 breaths to finish, taking the arms out, take a breath in and out. And in again and out. Nice